The following moments may contain explicit language.
Roger, Charlie, we're ready to rock.
Welcome to the SNLF DugOut Diaries. Today our guest is from Step 7, Ringmer AFC. The club have a storied past in Sussex non-league football, with their roots going back to the mid-20th century. The club initially found success in the local leagues, establishing itself as a competitive side in Sussex football. In the late 20th century, they rose to prominence in the Sussex County League, achieving notable finishes and cup runs. However, financial and structural challenges in the 2010s saw the club face significant hurdles. In 2016, the original Ringmer FC ceased operations due to these difficulties. A Phoenix club, Ringmer AFC, was formed shortly after, re-establishing the team and its presence in Sussex football. Since then, Ringmer AFC have competed in the Mid-Sussex Football League, focusing on rebuilding the club's reputation and fostering local talent. The team have seen steady progress with aspirations of climbing the non-league pyramid while maintaining its strong community ties. He's a great supporter of the SNFL brand. Tommy Haddon, welcome to the Dugout. It's good to have you on. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, Mike. Thanks for having me on again. Much appreciated.
Not a problem. Tommy, we've connected over X and that in the past. You're doing a great job down at Ringmer, a club that's looking like it's going places again. You know, it's steeped in history. Looks like your facilities are fantastic. But before we get into the club, Tommy, let's hear about you. Talk to us a little bit about your early life. Who are you? What you do?
I'm Tommy, obviously, Tommy Haddon. I was born in Eastbourne, in 1984, so long time ago. And then moved to Belgium briefly from a school period during the recession in the 90s, and grew up there in my school years until moving back to England when I was about 10, something like that. Back to Eastbourne again, and went through school there. It wasn't great, to be honest. Didn't really enjoy it very much. Struggles with language, obviously a language barrier, and then got into the construction industry at like I think 14. I roughly started in the summer holidays, and when it was school breaks, getting into it there, and then full time when I left at 16. Went straight. I mentioned the day we finished school. I literally started on the following Monday. I started in construction, and I've been in it really, barring the 2008 recession, ever since, really, and as a bricklayer. But more of a general builder. We do everything. So yeah, run my own business. Really good. Really enjoy it.
Fantastic. So now we get you on the Dugout Diaries. You obviously do you coach in there with Ringmer AFC. Talk to me about your coaching career a little bit.
I sort of fell into it really at Montpellier Villa.
Yeah.
Can't remember, about 11 years ago, 10 years ago. I was dropped from the first team playing there to the second team, and then fell out with the second team manager as well. Dropped to the third team. And finished the one season there. I think like 6 games. I played up front. I scored like 9 goals in the what was the Worthing League or the Brighton League then?
Yep.
And then at the end of the season, the manager there wasn't going to carry on, and the club said to me, Gary Please, who's still at the club now, said to me, "Do you want to take over the third team as you're one of the senior lads down there?" I was 30. I was 29. I was. And I said, I've never really thought about it. I've never really thought that managing or coaching would be something I'd do. But I had been a captain in my previous club in Eastbourne for the last couple of years, on and off, when the captain wasn't available, sort of my vice captain, having been there for like 10 years at that club. So yeah, I took it on and I've never looked back, really, to be honest, and really enjoyed everything. I do genuinely enjoy every single training session, every single game. I love the day-to-day stuff of the club and what management brings, to be honest.
So you said you were dropped down from Monte Villa. Was that because you didn't get on, or you weren't good enough?
I think yeah. If I'm openly honest, I probably wasn't good enough. also got some false promises made to me that if I scored some goals by a certain period of time that I'd be back in the first team. I did do that and then still wasn't given the chance. So I kind of knew then that I wasn't fancied, and maybe I wasn't good enough as well for that level. It was Mid Sussex Prem at the time, so the one that we're in now, funnily enough. So I dropped down. I wasn't the best player. I'm not going to lie. I never played any higher than East Sussex Prem or Mid Sussex Prem. So I wasn't the best of player. I think, to be honest, I'm a much better manager, I feel, than I ever was player, and that's being openly honest. Doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy my playing, because I really did enjoy my playing, and I do miss playing. It's great fun. I trained last night with the lads whenever we're short. I do drop in. When I say train, I mean they take the mick quite a lot, but I do try. But yeah, no, I think probably wasn't just good enough, to be honest with you, Mike, but found my love and found a passion in coaching very early there, and really enjoyed it.
Justice role.
Okay, so you say that. What position did you play at the time?
I was playing as a striker.
You were a striker.
Striker slash winger. I started on the wing, always wanted to play up front, learnt my trade a little bit, and then moved up front. And then as I got older, I sort of dropped back and back. Ended up playing in goal for Ditchling, actually, for a couple of seasons, where we had an issue with, because goalkeepers are hard to find. End up playing in my late 30s in goal, a couple of in Div 1 Mid Sussex, and I had a great time, to be honest.
That's fantastic. Great to hear. So, talk to me about Ringmer now, Ringmer AFC.
Yep.
The club obviously went through some really tough times, probably before you were around, obviously. Yep. They were well known in the county league. Great spot. I played there myself. Good club, great community. Talk to me about how the club changed when it had the problems to them becoming Ringmer AFC.
So I don't know too much about the previous Ringmer. Like I say, I wasn't there. I became aware of the new Ringmer being in the Mid Sussex football. Obviously, they had the new ground built, and then that facility was all over Twitter, or X as we call it now, whatever. I saw it. I played there a couple of times with my previous club. I was manager of Ditchling for 5 seasons. I played there. Their second team were in our league that year. We played them a couple of times. Got to play there and play in the cup there as well. And I was always really impressed with the club and the facility. And then when the job became available, 18 months ago? I think it became available 2 years ago, but I've been there 18 months because I had to interview and then wait to get the job, to wait to start my role at the club. But the club now that I'm at, I've been very impressed with everything. Like you say, the facilities are unbelievable for this level, really are.
Talk to me about those facilities you've got there.
Well, obviously we've got the 4G pitch. It's fantastic. The clubhouse, open, welcoming to everybody. The balcony overlooking the pitch. We're also getting another 3G pitch put in down the side as well. Hopefully starting very soon, that we're going to use to hopefully expand the club.
Have we got funding for that?
Yeah, it's all done and dusted. It's all part. There's a housing estate going there, so it's all part of that, I believe, with the council, and the parish council are dealing with all that side of things, and we're going to have the rights to run it. It's all very exciting stuff. But I've enjoyed every minute there. I mean, look, we've got the partnership with the uni as well, who bring in lots of students on the non-playing side of things.
Okay, how does that work?
So they come placement, basically. They come to placement with us. I made a phone call. I made a phone call a while back to Brighton Uni, and then my assistant John Hart, who is absolutely fantastic, by the way, ran with it, and he deals with all that side of things. Due to my language not being able to read and write very well, he takes over that side of things. I do the talking, he takes over that side of things, and he got it in place. We've got analytics students, social media students, strength and conditioning coaches throughout the club, not just for the first team, but for the seconds and the threes and fours. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, I think there's about 12 uni students now with us on a regular, about every single session and every game day.
Well, to be fair, at the step you're at, that is better than most clubs that I deal with around there, having those kind of volunteers or those interns available. How much of what they do you think contributes to the success you're having as a club now?
I think a lot because I think it's important that lads feel comfortable when they play football, right?
Mm.
I've always said this. My opinion of management, and this is only my opinion and my an idea, is I think the more you can make lads feel comfortable in an environment and settle in nice and early, the more you're going to get out of them. The more they feel it's a professional level, as professional as possible. I want them to enjoy it as well, but it needs to feel like they're coming to something that is run properly. The people in charge hopefully know what they're doing. The people around it know what they're doing, and there's a direction and a clear vision. And then once they're settled, and you'll get the best out of them. Then you'll get the best out of those players and the best out of the people around you.
So you talk about this clear vision. You're obviously in the Mid Sussex Prem.
Yeah.
By all accounts, there's probably only two of you, maybe, that could go up, progress within that league. We had Westfield FC chairman Jack Stapley on recently.
Yeah,
he believes it's really only you and them that could go up. Are you ready to go up if you do get promoted or do finish where you should be?
So first of all, Jack's a really nice guy. I do get on with Jack really well. I know we're both got the same target and he's at a rival club, but I was with him last night at New Haven. They played New Haven last night in a friendly. After training, I popped down and had a chat with him. We do exchange messages from time to time. I'm really impressed with what Westfield are doing down there. Great ground, well run again. Another club that you go to and you feel like you're going to a football club. You're not going to a school. You're not going to a college. You're playing at a proper football ground. So fair play to them. We are champions from last season. We had the golden ticket. We didn't decide to go up last year due to ground grading.
Was that because of the ground grading? 100%,
it was.
Did you feel you weren't ready?
I didn't feel we weren't ready. The committee felt we weren't ready, and I understand that decision now. Having been on the committee now this season, the work has now been done. The picture's now been made wider. Everything else is good to go. So yeah, we are looking now, hopefully this season, to take that step, and that is our aim and our ambition. Obviously, as champions, people know us now, so the surprise element of me last year, me and Hart being obviously coming in last summer, people didn't really know about us because we come from the division below, and we hit the ground running. But obviously this season they know us. So it's been a lot harder to get going again this season, but we're finally on a decent run at the minute, and the lads have been excellent, to be honest.
So if you do go up, hopefully you do. Well, hopefully one of you two go up anyway. What changes are going to have to be made to the club?
Off the pitch or on the pitch?
Both.
Or both. Off the pitch, we need more volunteers, and I think that's at any. I know you're involved with Arundel. I know you know Wisey as well. You've spoken to him lately. Obviously, Jack, you've spoken to at Westfield. I think, I spoke to Dale this morning at Reigate. It seems to be the ongoing problem that every club I talk to, or every manager or chairman or guy like coach like yourself or whatever, it seems to be the ongoing problem of volunteers. It's the same people at football clubs do the same things. You've got the same core of 7 or 8 at Ringmer on the committee, plus obviously my coaches that I work with, managers that I work with, who are fantastic, by the way, all of them from the first team down to the 18s, including the seconds, threes and fours, all volunteer, all do kits, sort out the container of all our stuff in it for training. It's the same people. We need people to come forward for matches, who are going to man the ticket booth, who are going to be a steward. You have to have that, don't you, at step 6, a steward there at the ground to keep an eye. All that sort of stuff.
I think you have to have a minimum entrance fee as well, if I'm right.
I think is it £5? I think, is that correct?
I think it was £5 and maybe £2 or £3 for the concessions there. I think actually Jack mentioned that when he spoke. So will that have an impact on your attendances? I mean, I know it's only a fiver these days, but you know what it's like with the world we're in at the moment. Do you reckon that would impact your attendances?
Yeah, so it's a tricky one. I've got many questions about this that probably more for committee instead of you. That what if the second team are playing afterwards and they turn up early to watch? Have they got to pay to get in? Like, how is this going to work? All these questions that that need to be answered. But that's for moving forward. Yeah, I don't know. There's obviously people at the club who want to go up and progress. There's obviously people that don't, and I understand that because it's a community club. I totally get it. But progression, that sort of facility has to have progression, in my opinion. You have to have a direction and an idea. That's to be seen. I mean, we get a solid crowd for our level of football. It helps with when the second or third team or fourth team play after us on a Saturday, because obviously they come down and watch. We normally get, I think there was there Saturday. I think there was 65, 70 Saturday watching, and we didn't have a game up. Yeah, we didn't have a game after either, so it's a good attendance.
They're decent numbers for that level.
Yeah, I think so.
What teams have you got that are a little bit higher step within the area that could affect that?
So we've got obviously Seaford around us.
Where I was at Saturday.
Yeah, where you're at Saturday, Wisey. You've got Uckfield up the road, obviously just literally up the corner. Billy Wood and that they're doing their thing. And then if you go another division, you've got New Haven, obviously Eastbourne Town and all that in, if you like, Hailsham, of course, as well, who are step 7 and around that area. So it's good competition as well.
Okay. Let's drum into your squad. You're obviously there or thereabouts at the moment. It's going to go. I think it's going to go down to the wire. Let's have a look at where you are currently in the league. So you're sitting in fifth. You're sitting in 5th place, but you're only one win off the top. Okay. Yeah. I know. Obviously, that you've got Oxted and Crowhurst there. I think Crowhurst got beat by Westfield 3 or 4-0 the other week. It looks like a league where teams take points off each other.
Yeah, so we've got Crowhurst Saturday, funnily enough, at their place.
So that's a big game.
Yeah, big game coming up. We've had some big games. At Balcombe, we've had Oxted the last few weeks as well, and beaten both of them and got ourselves on a nice little run. I think this year, I was talking to Jack again about this last night. I think this year that all the teams are vastly improved this season. Now, that's not to say that last year when we won the league, we got it easy, because we didn't. We still had 3 or 4 very good teams in that league that we had to beat to get to that position. But this year, I think everybody has raised their game, if you like. I think
why?
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel this year that it feels more competitive. I can't answer that question. I don't know why. Maybe they've recruited better. Maybe managers have had another season to hone their skills. I don't know what it is, but it just, to me, it feels more competitive. Westfield are in and around it and vastly improved. Holland Sports are vastly improved. I know we beat them at the weekend, but they're a very tough team to play against. Oxford have always been tough. Crowhurst have come into this league this season and are doing really well. Balcombe have always been a problem. Very good team, very well run, very well organised. Probably the most organised team we play against at this level. Okay. They're really good. I think it's massively improved in there.
So you obviously talked about Crowhurst. Week after, you've got Crawley Devils. What are they like?
Yeah, Crawley Devils again. I've played against Crawley Devils for probably about 6 years. I've always seemed to be either one league above them or one league below them and get them in cups or in the same league. And they're good lads. They're a bit older now. They won't mind me saying that. They've been together a long time. A bunch of lads that have come, a bit like Ridgewood. They're a bunch of lads that have come right through the divisions together. They're a tough team to play against. Again, they play a certain way. Three big guys at the back. I think every team in this division is a tough test.
Cool. I want to drum a bit into your squad at the moment. I'm looking at some of the stats. A couple of players that are sticking out just by numbers, nothing else. You've got Edward Easton, or Edward Piers Moreno Easton, who's banged in 9 in 11. And you've also got Reece Taylor, who's banged in 10 in 13. Where are these boys playing? The strikers?
No, so Ed is a striker, although I converted him to. He's been with me about 4 years, 5 years. He was originally a 10 or a centre mid.
What did he do to be with you for 4 years? What do you?
Yeah, I know the punishment. He's Spanish lad. He's very good. He's very, very quick, very physical guy. Plays very good high futsal as well. So he's got that little bit of flair about him. We call him goal a game Ed because he normally does get a goal a game. Bless him. Impressive stuff. Reece plays left wing. Not only has Reece got 11 goals now. I think it is. He's also got 10 assists as well. So wow. he I think a lot of people know about Reece Taylor from his years at Helsham and being around where he is. He shouldn't be where he's playing. He's a very, very good player, but he loves the club. He loves us, and we get on so well. And it wouldn't be the same without him. He's a fantastic lad. Again, only young as well, only 24. But really, really powerful. I've not seen a player that can go both feet and he takes corners with both feet, in swingers, left or right. Unreal. I've not seen anything like it, to be honest. He's really, really good at it. But there are also other players in that squad that if we don't have it, doesn't work. It's a cog in a system, if you know what I mean. And that was when we came into Ringmer. We found it important to the lads know that it's not just about one player. It's about us all working. Everybody has a piece to play, a role to play. You've got Ellis, who plays centre mid, breaks up play so well. I mean, just a grafter in there, you know. Charlie, the captain as well. Again, he's been with me 6 years at previous clubs. A fantastic leader.
What are you doing? Keeping these guys hostage or something? You've got something.
Yeah, I don't let them leave. They're not allowed to leave once they play for me. Yeah, exactly. Jamie Blackford's another player as well. I was in there, but all this I could talk about all of them, and I apologise that I don't if I haven't mentioned you, but they all bring something to the table without doubt.
Well, talk to me about the lad who scored the goal from near enough the halfway line, the one that went near enough went viral on X.
That's Rick Taylor.
The same guy that was celebrating before it went in. Loved it.
See, that's Reece. I've just talked about it.
That's Reece.
Yeah, he has that thing about him. Like I say, that little bit of swagger, that little bit of something. I said it on Saturday with Will Hugo when I did an interview at the end of him. He's got that thing. He turns it, but as he hit it, he said, "Watch this. This is going in." And as he hit it, I mean, it literally is. Yeah, it's flying in against Balcombe and. Yeah, I mean, look, people are saying the keeper should do better, but it's coming out of the sky with snow on it, and it's falling at pace, and he's under pressure. So, yeah, look, I mean, that's what Reece does on a regular occasion. So, yeah, it's good to have him with us.
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Now, talk to me then. In an ideal scenario, Ringmer qualify to go up.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the aspirations after that? Because is it a case of finishing 16th, 17th and survival? Or do you feel you can go and push on a bit more? Realistically.
So for me, personally, it's not about finishing 16th or 17th. For me, it's about growing, about pushing as far as we can with Ringmer. Now, whether that is that we go, you know, we do work our way through, I don't know. That will depend on recruitment in the summer and getting things right. Again, we talked about support off the pitch there. We need support off the pitch as well with the volunteers and stuff. You know, I'd love to take Ringmer as far as it can go, as far as I can go with Ringmer. I think that only time will tell that though, Mike, right? And you know that you're in that division. It's a tough place to be in there. Look at Reigate at the minute. I mean, they finished 4th in our division last year. But Dale's doing a really good job there. You know,
they gave us a great game down there.
Yeah,
you know,
they're organised.
A side that's obviously at the moment probably punching a little bit where they are, but growing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, maybe I'm not one to comment on Dale what he you know where they should be, but I know what he's like to play against. I know how he has them boys set up, and they're very good at what they do. It's a whole different ball game in there, I feel, to where we are. So it's a very tough division that we know. But I think once we get in there and we get a bit settled. Obviously, the first season would be to survive in there, if you like, or stay in that division, and then basically build from there and see where we can go. You know, who knows? That only time will tell this.
Okay, so they're the aspirations. Is there any worry that these aspirations would change now? We know that you recently had the chairman step down, Mark Hutchins, who apparently was a great guy for the club. Anything you say on that?
Mark was an absolute legend. Like, really, he's still involved at the club. Involved at the club. He's still going to be around the club. He's still going to help out as a volunteer and run the line. I think he's coming Saturday with us to Crowhurst. He's going to still play with the Freeze Fours and the Vets on a Thursday. He trains. A fantastic man. I can't say enough about him. How much he's done for me and helped me in where I am now, where me and Hart are. Absolutely fantastic. No, his stepping down has got nothing to do with the yes vote to go up or the idea of going up. it's other stuff at the club where it's just taken its toll on him over 2 years as 2.5 years as a chairman. I'm sure there's so much going on at a football club, and I had a couple of things last night to deal with that it's just off the pitch stuff that's just relentless.
I want to touch on that actually.
Yeah, go on.
There, because I want the listeners to realise what actually goes in to running a football club at this level and a little bit higher as well. I think a lot of people think that this is your full-time job. This is what you do. You actually do this as a volunteer in theory there.
Yeah.
I mean, how much time does this take out of your week?
Oh, mate, I'm sure I'm not the only one laughing at that. There's probably managers, hopefully, and coaches that are listening to this, and yourself. I can see you smiling there. It takes up. I mean, I'm Ringmer head coach as well, so I'm in charge of the first team. I'm also in charge of the recruitment, the managers from ones all the way down to 18s Blues. So five teams. So
wow. So that's not just you're in charge of the first team squad. You are in charge, really, of that club. There,
the whole senior setup. Yeah, the whole senior setup. Me and that's my role. But obviously, Hart, like I say, has been with me 8 years now, 9 years. We worked together, so he's very heavily involved as well with me together. Yeah, me and him always say it is a full-time job. It's a full-time unpaid job that you take. It takes up hours. I mean, me and Hart talk on the phone, I would say on average, probably on the phone an hour a day, roughly, if all the phone calls added up. Plus,
and the wives handle that. They're not suspicious, no?
Yeah, I know Hart's wife and my wife always say, yeah, just get a room, you two. The amount of time you spend on the phone to each other. And obviously, but then of course you've got the text messages as well between me and him, plus between the managers, the players, this stuff all day to deal with that comes on your plate, and you're trying to deal with other stuff. The people that run non-league football clubs and grassroots football clubs are absolute heroes, and I think with them going back to the Mark thing, I think people in time will realise how much he did for the club, and how it's okay to have an opinion about it, but you should air it in the right way, in my opinion. And you won't know what you've got till it's gone. And I think some people need to realise that, like I say, you're involved in the club. You know how much it takes for these people to do this job on a regular basis. And I will make mistakes. I'll openly say that we will. Not, and I'm sure that any manager or coach here will say the same. Not everything I do is correct. Not everything I do is right. But we try our best for the right direction, and hopefully the whole of a club. You can't keep everybody happy. I always say this on a Saturday. I've got 11 players in front of me that are happy I've picked them. I've got 5 behind me that hate me because they're on the bench, and I've got probably 10, 15 on the balcony that really hate me because they're not even in the squad.
Unfortunately, that's the gift and the curse of being a coach or a manager. You're not going to please everyone all the time.
No.
And some of those players you're probably emotionally invested with. You've had for a long time. You social with them, and then on that Saturday, the one thing they want to do is effing play football, and they're not even on the team sheet. Or they're on the bench, So it's hard. It's a juggling act, especially with the amount of roles and hats that you're going to wear at a club. I tell you one thing.
Go on.
No, go.
What you said there about like emotionally attached, at Ditchling I was still a player. In Montpellier Villa I was a player and a player manager, so I became to know these lads. When I moved from Villa after 3 seasons to Ditchling, I took 36 players with me to Ditchling. And they were friends that I played with and got to know. We then had a fantastic 5 years at Ditchling, building a fantastic team there and winning promotions and cups. And then obviously the chance to move to Ringmer. Some of these players came with me, but they didn't quite hit the standard to be at Mid Sussex Prem, and it was hard because I played with these players we've been friends. They've been at my wedding. They've been with me for so long. I've seen them grow up from 21-year-old lads to 30, near enough 30-year-olds getting married. I've been at their weddings, and it is hard. But you have to, I think, again, another part of being a manager is you have to have these conversations with them. That it's been fantastic, but every time comes to an end, I suppose. If I was what I'm trying to say, and I appreciate everything they've done for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this situation.
I think you're right there. I think one of the qualities you have to have as a manager or a coach, you have to have the trust and you have to have accountability. Okay, so you have to be able to say, I'm making this decision for this reason, and I want to explain it to you. but I will hold myself accountable if I've made the wrong decision.
I found that being honest, straight up honest and bluntly honest, if you like, is the absolutely best way to do it. I do. I'm a bricklayer, so I talk a lot of shit all day. I'm a builder. that comes with the nature. But I believe being openly honest is the best way forward. I tell the lads that aren't playing normally by tonight, not by Wednesday night. The ones that aren't in the squad, I've told that they'll be told via voice note or phone call or message. And then on a Thursday, I'll tell the ones that are starting who they are and who's on the bench, and the squad, the team sheet and the lineup and the team duties will be out Thursday night. So they've got all day Friday to think, and they're not going to stink the change room out on a Saturday. And I've found in my 11 years as a manager with Heart Together, we found that's the best way that we do things. We found for us that by the time we come to the Saturday, normally the disappointment in their heads has gone, and they're focused on what they're trying to do.
I love that. That's a great example. That's a great analogy of what you're saying there. So, lastly, before we close up, I've got 3 minutes worth of quick fire questions for you.
Here we go then.
So I'm going to start the thing. I'm going to start the clock now. Who's the joker in the squad, and what's their best prank?
George Coleman.
Need to push you on.
George Coleman. I can't explain why, but on a night out, he's hilarious.
Perfect. If the team was stranded on a desert island, which player would be the most useful, and which one would be the first to panic?
First to panic, probably Jacob Ashford, bless him. Panics about everything all the time. Most useful, probably Dan Oliver, I reckon. He looks like he'd be useful on a desert island, maybe, yeah. Who's
got the best and worst taste in music in the dressing room?
Oh, God, blimey. To be honest, they're all pretty awful whenever I listen to it. Freddie Verrill's the other day apparently was quite bad. There was one other as well. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember now. Away at some place. It came in. It was absolutely shocking. Bacco previously has left us now. His music was pretty bad. Yeah.
If Ringmer AFC were to enter a five-a-side team in a pub quiz, which players would you pick, and who's getting left out?
Oh God, that's a question, isn't it?
I've got to push you.
George Cole would be in. Jamie Blackford would be in because he's useless, but we'd all laugh at him. Hart was rubbish at quizzes, but he'd be in just for the hell of it. I don't know. I can't. That's it. I can't go anymore. I can't do anymore.
I need to.
Ellis. I'll bring Ellis with me. And George Maybury. He's a clever lad. Probably George Maybury. Yeah.
Okay. Which player is most likely to start a friendly match with a 2-footed tackle?
Charlie Northeast, the captain, probably him, to be honest.
If one of your players had to fill it in as a manager for the game, who would you trust to do it, and who would you not put in charge?
God, I would put.
Told you I'll put you on the spot, Tommy.
Yeah, God, blimey. I would not put Jamie Blackford in charge. Absolutely useless at that sort of stuff. Doesn't know what he's doing. Put in charge, probably be Charlie, to be honest. He's the leader, isn't he? Or Ellis. Ellis is very good at organising things. Yeah, vice captain Ellis or Charlie. Yeah.
Okay, and final one. If you could bring any Sussex legend to play one match for Ringmer AFC, who would it be?
Still playing now, or
past or present?
Oh God, this is. This is hard. There's a player that I've tried to sign on multiple occasions. He's still playing now. He's playing in the county prem. I'd probably bring him if I could.
And his name?
I can't give his name. I can't.
You can't give his name.
No, I can't. But the player probably James. I had James, a kiddie. I can't remember his surname now. He was at Sussex for a while, and we got him for 9 games at Ditchling, and he was unbelievable. So I'd probably get him in.
Fantastic. Well, that's 3 minutes with you, Tommy. You've been fantastic. You're a great guy. I want to personally say thank you to you for being a fantastic supporter of the SNLF brand. You're always there,
really enjoy it,
shouting from us from the rooftops. I think you've got a fantastic thing going down at Ringmer. I'm going to be down there on January the 28th to see the Battle of the Dugouts, which is you and Westfield. That could play a pivotal moment in the season for who potentially could be going up. Anything you want to say to any of your lads out there before we go?
Just thank you to John Hart for being around for so long. The lads, the players, like I said, who have played for me previously or play for me now, we wouldn't be where we are without them guys. And the club and the committee for constant support in everything we do. They've never questioned anything. They've always been supportive. So yeah, thank you to all those people, to be honest. And obviously the wives. I think the wives go without mention. They need a big mention of this sort of stuff, because everybody's wife who has a grassroots manager or coach and their family know how much that time we give up for this stuff. That's important massively.
And if any potential players or sponsors or people that want to get in contact with you, how can they get in contact with you?
Twitter, or X as you call it, without doubt. Facebook. The club's all over there.
What's your handle on Twitter?
I don't know. I haven't been asked that for a long. I think it's just Tommy Haddon. I think it's just Tommy capital H Haddon. I'm pretty sure it is. If not, the club is on Twitter, and we run that as well. So by all means, just drop us a DM or whatever. Happy. There's plenty of sponsorship available and playing time throughout the lads.
I can confirm it's at Tommy Haddon on X as well, just because he didn't know it himself. Tommy, you've been fantastic.
Thank you.
I wish you and the lads every success for the future. Can't wait to come down and see those brilliant facilities we've got there. So thank you ever so much.
Appreciate you as well. Thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
Cheers, mate.